Hi guys, it's Heather. Today's video is about the different types of knitting needles that are available to you on the market today. This is just going to be a broad overview of the different types and some projects they might be good for. It's one of the questions that I receive most often from people. What needle should I use for this project that I'm doing? So I thought this might be a very helpful beginner video, but also a helpful video for those who've been knitting for a while but have been a little hesitant to change from what their normal style of knitting is. It might give them a little bit of information to want to change or try something new. So let's go ahead and get into the different types of needles there are. Okay, so let's get into it. The first thing we're going to start with are straight needles. Straight needles are the needles that people have learned how to knit on for a very long time. My mother did, I did, and they were pretty much all that was available for a long time. There were aluminum needles back in the 70s. I don't have any double point aluminum needles, which we'll talk about in a minute, but I do still have a set or two of our long. These are about, I think they're 13 inches long, 12 or 13 inches long. And these are tried and true needles that have been around for a very long time. I have two sets of them. They came in different colors. They are aluminum, again, straight needles. They now come in and have come in for a very long time bamboo, but they are a little bit different. Now when you buy straight needles, you will more find them that look like this. You can't really find these as much anymore. You find more of this style. The style you find in most stores or online stores like Knit Picks, they sell sets of these. These are really good for a lot of projects like afghans or baby blankets or washcloths, that kind of thing. So you'll find them that are more this length. I'm going to put the big guys down. Sorry for the noise. And then you also have this length. These are about 7 inches long, and they are pretty short. I am a firm believer in economical length of needles. I like my needles to only be as long as they have to be in order to do the project. I don't like a lot of working needle that I'm not using. So these are some of my go-to needles for washcloths. They will fit a perfect washcloth on them, and you can use them for that. You can use these for scarves. You can use these for any short, or should I say not wide item. If you want to squinch it up, you can put it on there too if it's a little bit longer, but it might pop off when you're not working on it. So these guys, these are signature needles. In case you wanted to know what they are, I'll leave a link downstairs. These are Clover. You can get them in most crafting stores online. Like I said, the aluminum ones you might have a hard time finding. You might want to try like Craigslist or something like that. You can get a ton of them. I do not use straight needles, like I said. They are not my thing. Everybody kind of figures out a preference that they have, and mine is just not straight needles. The next needles that I'm going to talk about are circular needles. Circular needles are, as the name implies, a circle, basically. So they are like this. There are fixed and interchangeable types. Fixed is like this one. It is 2 needles fixed onto a cord. Your cords are varying length. Let me show you another example. Here is a shorter one. This is a 16-inch one. You would use this for like hats and necklines. I've used them for sleeves. Anything that is in the round or flat and a shorter distance across or shorter width. You would use those. Here is your longer one. Again, these are fixed. They come in basically all sizes from 4 and up. They are now coming. I know Chai Gao, I'm not sure, I've never known how to really say that name, has a set that is for your smaller, like size 0 through size 3 on circular needles, interchangeable set, which that's just crazy. I didn't think that would ever happen, but it has. So anyway, these are great for anything that's in the round or flat because it'll just hang there, and I'm going to show you a sample of that right now. So this is an afghan that I'm working on, and you'll see more of this in my what I'm currently working on video, but this is just, it's going to end up being a 10 by 10 block that is going to go in my afghan. It's half done right now, and it is on a circular needle. So when I'm not working on it, it just hangs down here. No problem. But when I'm ready to knit on it, I just push it on up there, bring my needle around, and I'm ready to go. See? Easy. So when you're ready to just store it, you just put it down and you can throw it wherever you need to throw it. There you go. I also use sock circulars. These I don't use, but it was the first one I could grab. So here they make them, this is I believe a 9-inch. It's a little bit strange. I am going to do a video on a bunch of different little 8-inch, 9-inch sock needles, so you'll stay tuned for that, and you'll see these and a little more information about them in depth. But here you go. So this is the circumference of a sock. As you can see, it makes knitting this part and this part very quick, and you don't have to stop to change your needles if you know what double point needles are, which is what we're going to get into after we're finished with circulars. So those are fixed. You have sets, and I'm only going to show you one set, like I said, so we get an example of them, of interchangeable needles, interchangeable circular needles. So in a set of interchangeable circular needles, these are Addi clicks. I don't think they're called turbos. These aren't turbos. In which case you get a set of needles, and these I think are from US size 4 all the way up to US size 15. I think it's 15, 13, I think it's 11, but it's the full set, full range, and you have your needle. Let's just pick one out here. You get 2 needles, and then in the Addi set you get 3 different cables and 3 different cable lengths. So you have 28, I believe, 32, and 40. I can't remember. I can never remember what the 40-some inch one is. But you get 3 different lengths in it. And so you can choose the length that would be better for the project that you're doing. And then you clip your needle onto the end of this. Oops, I didn't do it very well. Okay. Ooh, they normally work really well. Okay, and then your needle's on there. Your join is very smooth, and you go ahead and knit your project. And that gives you a choice of all your needles in one easy case. It lets you just choose your size. You can go down from size. You can change from, say, a size 8 to a size 7 after you've cast on, so that your cast on is a little bit looser. It's a nice little trick. And then you go ahead and put your different size needles on and keep on going. So that is interchangeable. Different companies have different interchangeable sets. They come in wood, they come in nickel plated, they come in bamboo. I think they come in aluminum. You can get aluminum ones. And again, that depends on preference, on how you feel, how you need your knitting needles to feel. We'll go over that in another video as well. So those are circulars. You have quite a bit of choice in circulars. They are the big thing these days. And then you have double pointed needles, or what people like to call DPNs, because it is kind of long, double pointed needles. So double pointed needles come in sets of 5 or 6. They come in different lengths. Here is a set. These are from Knitter's Pride. These are 8-inch long double pointed needles. You have, these are also from Knitter's Pride. You have 6-inch long double pointed needles, and they come in nice colors. And then you have, I believe these are 5-inch long. Yeah, 5-inch long double pointed needles. So again, economical length of your needle for the project that you're doing. I'm not going to use these for socks usually. I'm going to use these for socks. And actually, let me just show you. There are 4-inch double pointed needles. These are from Knit Picks. This is their Caspian wood set, and they are wonderful for knitting socks. I prefer less needle, so I don't have all this needle going on, especially when you have 4 or 5 of them going at one time. The shorter they are, the better. So if I had these guys going around while I was working on a sock, that might not work so well for me. Might work great for you. Another use for DPNs, again, double pointed needles are usually for work in the round, usually. I have used them. These are 7s, so they may be a go-to. I have used these guys for knitting a washcloth because they're short, and I like that. And you can put like a little stopper on the end. They make them to keep your work from falling off. I've done that so that they don't fall off. But they work really well for other things too. You can always use two. Some people use them for cable needles, if you know what cabling is. But anyway, so double pointed needles are usually for circular work. You would use double pointed needles for your socks. You would use them for your hats. Once you get to a certain point in a hat with your 16-inch, you're going to switch your work off to double pointed needles so that you can finish and get your little hole at the top and come off of it. So that's double pointed needles. Let's see, is there any other use for double pointed needles? None that I can think of. If you can think of another use, go ahead and put it down in the comments. I'd love to hear it. Last but not least are specialty needles, like cable needles. These are made specifically for cabling. Now this, let me see if I have another cabling needle available to me, because I have to tell you, yes, I do. Okay, here's another cabling needle. I believe these are, they're not Clover. I forget what the brand name is for these. I should have looked it up before I did this. But these are a different brand. This is Nitpicks. I am not a fan of these. Some people absolutely love them and like these little stopper grooves that are in here. If you can see those. I'm not a fan of that. It stops me from having a good flow of work, and I have to work at it to get it so that it's not on that. I do a lot of cabling. Cabling is one of the things I absolutely love. But your cable needles usually come in sets, and they usually come in different sizes. You can see the different sizes of those. This one is smooth. That's one of the reasons. Actually, I cable these days without needles, but we'll get into that in a different video too. But if you need to use a needle, usually a smooth needle, it does have a slightly larger piece on each end. Those are, it keeps your work a little bit in the center if you prefer that. But that's another example of a cable needle. So you have specialty needles like that, and that's pretty much it for needles. Here's another example of circular needle sets. And I'm going to do a whole video on circular needles because there are so many options out there. And in that video, I will get into what are my favorite, why they are my favorite, and different things to look for when you're using circular needles. So that is it for needles today and which ones to use for which projects. Again, if you have any specific questions, go ahead and put them down in the comments. If you have a project and you're not sure what needles to use for it, or you don't have what the project calls for and you would like a suggestion for something that you might have in your house, go ahead and put it down there. I'll be happy to answer that question. Make sure you subscribe so you can see the rest of the videos and get notifications when the videos come out, and I will see you in the next video.